Well, this may surprise no one, but I'm not generally a Jane Austen fan, and historical romance is not my thing. So imagine my delight when this month's social chapter selection, Pride and Prejudice, actually swept me off my feet.
Well, a new full-cast adaptation of the beloved classic romance, this Audible original tells the story of the fiercely independent Elizabeth Bennet, who has no intention of settling for any man or, frankly, any life that isn't of her own choosing. But when she's introduced to the wealthy and completely insufferable Mr. Darcy, she starts to rethink everything, including herself. Take a listen.
So to answer your first question, no. I have no inclination to dance. Have I disappointed you?
In what?
Stopping your trick. I must admit, I'm proud of myself. Despise me, Mr. Darcy, if you dare.
I do not dare.
Spicy. Okay, we all have 20 seconds to sound off about this Audible original. Andrea, why don't you get us started? What did you rate Pride and Prejudice and why?
All right, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and here is why. Although we all know this classic story, the performances in this Audible original are so vivid, it felt like I was in the movie theater, not sitting at home with my earbuds in. So you can practically feel the tension between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, which I love, and Glenn Close as the overbearing, marriage-obsessed mother. Chef's kiss. I know a little something about that. Pressure. Overall, a fantastic listen. I highly recommend. Ooh, and I came in on time.
Nice.
All right, Finn, what did you think?
Okay, I gave this a 9 out of 10, and here's why. So even though this was written over 200 years ago, the themes of class, behavior, secret desires, pride, and prejudice still have relevance today. I'll admit, I had never read the actual book, so initially I found the names kind of confusing to keep track of. So if that's like you, here's a hot tip. First, watch the movie available on Crave. It is not identical, so this brings actually a whole new dimension to this wonderful Audible listen.
Good one.
Yes, what is your rating?
I gave this an 8 out of 10, and here's why. Its many delights are plentiful, for all the beloved scenes are rendered with admirable fidelity. Yes, I must deduct 1 point for the occasional modern exclamation. Wow and yeah quite startled me, as though the Bennet sisters had suddenly started performing a TikTok dance. And another for a most grievous grammatical lapse near the end. To say Kitty is always staying with Jane and I would have sent poor Miss Austen into a most unladylike tailspin!
Like this one?
Yeah! Mel, what's your rating?
I love that. Okay, I gave this a 9 out of 10, and here is why. I know, I surprised myself. How to breathe life into an old classic by turning it into an audiobook, of course. Elizabeth Bennet's intelligence sparkles, Mr. Darcy's tension simmers, and the dialogue dances in a way that makes the story feel immediate and modern. So whether you're revisiting the novel or discovering it for the first time, this audiobook is immersive, it is joyful, it is utterly transportive.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I don't know how I have not broken out into a British accent.
There it is.
I want to keep my job, so moving on. Mrs. Bennet feels a lot of pressure to make sure that her daughters do get married so they don't lose a Longbourn house when Mr. Bennet dies. So did any of you actually feel pressured to get married even when you were younger? If that was put into your future plans? If yes, where did that pressure come from? Jess?
I didn't have the pressure, although my Barbies always got married at 17. Do you know what I mean? Like whenever they were having the wedding. But I never felt that myself. I'm not too sure why, but I think personally, I always kept thinking, well, when I'm old enough, when I feel mature enough. And I just never have felt that. What about you, Andrea?
Have I ever felt pressure to get married? Am I black wearing a bob and a gray dress? Yes, from family, friends, strangers, everybody. Everybody's got the answers. I'm too picky. I gotta open my mind up. I gotta be less. Everybody's been giving me pressure, but I think as I've gotten older, people are approaching me a little bit differently, and they're just kind of like, so will you ever? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll keep it interesting. Who knows?
So the Bennet house in this story gets, they're so excited because Mr. Darcy is coming with his rich friend, Mr. Wickham, and everyone's so excited. Have you ever felt that excitement about meeting someone and then sort of been let down or not let down?
Oh my God. Okay, this is the story between friends, guys, of someone who came on this show. So when I was very little, 5 years old, the first 45 that I remember listening to on repeat was Message in a Bottle by The Police. And so when I found out Sting King was coming on the show, I was like beside myself because I'd followed the police and then I was thinking of his tantric sex and I just couldn't wait to meet him. And then he came in and I think I was a little bit odd and effusive. And anyway, just say this, he was fine, he was nice enough, but he just wasn't like the warmest fellow in the world. So I was, you never meet your heroes, as they say.
Meet your
Anyway,
heroes.
how about you, Mel?
Oh, yeah. My story has a bit of a happier ending. We have horses, and from time to time growing up, we'd get calls for our horses to be in television shows and movies. And we got a call that one Christopher Reeve was going to be using one of our horses for Road to Avonlea. And so we were like, okay, my dad said, you got to come to the farm. You have to get acquainted with the horse and ride with me before we get to set. So, of course, he told me this, and I went, Superman's coming to the farm? So what's supposed to be a private lesson between Christopher Reeve and my father turned out to be about 40 to 50 people who showed up at our farm. But I'm going to tell you something. He should have had a diva moment and said, where did all these people come from? No, this was him in our house. That's my mother. That's my cousin. There were 40 people in the house.
Oh, my
He
gosh.
had dinner with us. He told us all the Superman stories. He took pictures with everybody. And to this day, I just think he was still at the height of his career.
Yeah.
That's a true class act.
That's
right?
beautiful.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay. Lizzie receives an unwelcome proposal from a Mr. Collins and a declaration of love from Mr. Darcy, who she thinks she despises at the time. So have you ever turned down a proposal or a declaration of love? And if so, how did you handle it, Jess?
I actually think I did once. My ex-boyfriend, boyfriend at the time, we were playing tennis. He creamed me. And then we're sitting on a picnic table after, and he was like taking a drink of water. We should get married. And I was like, what? And I didn't know if it was like a real proposal. And I remember just sort of brushing it off, being like, yeah, let's think about it, I guess. And I knew that because my reaction was the way it was that, maybe I'll pump the brakes a bit on this one. Do you know what I mean?
I think there is something to be said for that gut reaction and that intuition. I was highly suspecting that a boyfriend that I was with for many years was about to propose, or it was in the air. And when I thought it was going to happen, we were away on vacation, I had a full-blown panic attack, which was the sign that, thank God, he didn't end up proposing, but I think I also sabotaged if it was going to come. I have no idea. And that's when, trust your intuition. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. Listen, that was a really fun Audible original for all of us to listen to. Clearly, our scores show that. So I think it is safe to say that it definitely got us talking. And great news, everyone. You can join Andrea and Cynthia on Instagram Live today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. They'll be continuing the conversation, including whether they find wealth attractive. I think I know the answer.
Do we have to wait till 4:30 for that?
know,
Okay,
right?
sure.
If either of them have ever played hard to get, that would be good. And also how they handle an embarrassing family member. I feel very apropos for this holiday
I think
season.
I'm the embarrassing family member.
No. And if you still need to listen to Pride and Prejudice, be sure to head to audible.ca to experience it for yourself, or scan our trusty QR code, which will take you right there. Your first audiobook is free with your membership, so what are you waiting for?